One big chain or multiple smaller chains? That's usually the debate, and it's solely by preference. Now, one of the things that I've learned in my jewelry journey over the last 5 years in content creation and being more exposed to different facets of jewelry is that your style is never going to be the same. Rarely do you want to keep the same piece for X amount of years, especially when you go the big boy route. If you start wearing big boy pieces and that's how you start your jewelry journey, you're going to slowly find that your style is going to change depending on the environment, your business, networking events, age, and fit. You guys have seen my jewelry journey from custom enamel pendants to big chains to multiple small chains, and I'm fortunate enough to have a variety no matter the price point. Gold plated, silver, solid gold, whatever you can afford. Having a little bit of a variety is very important, but more so I start to find my own identity in the jewelry space while being exposed to more pieces. Lately I've been enjoying more of smaller pieces, and I've mentioned this in a previous video, but looking at my entire collection, I'm starting to analyze that I'm having a lot more fun wearing smaller pieces, maybe on some layer aspects than big chains. What do you prefer? Let's roll my motherfucking music so we can check out big chains versus small chains and what way you would go.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. So here we're looking at a 16mm 22-inch Miami Cuban link. It's a big boy piece to me. This aesthetically is a big presence. Look at me now. I'm catching super amount of attention, whether positive or negative, and even if it's tucked in, there's no way that you can't just see the girth of that chain on your neck profile. Like when you're going anything over a 12mm, you're looking for attention. Yes, some people go for the savings account aspect of it. If you bought your gold early, then you have a nice little savings account. I'm not gonna call it an investment, I'm gonna call it a nice savings account of gold. You might have made some profit on some of the pieces, but essentially it's like a savings account that's wearable, a wearable commodity. Now, one of the things that struck me as interesting in a community like Southern Florida, the big chain Cuban look is still very prevalent and popular, and a lot of people wear it on some daily basis shit, right? But in New York, I start to see a little bit more of transition to smaller multi-chain with either more bling factor, multiple pendants, but not so much the big chunky pieces. And it could be cultural, it could be environmental. Miami's always hot, so there's always that exposure for that big flex. And New York for 5 to 6 months out of the year is tucked in, covered up, so the big chains don't get that much exposure because you're always wrapped up. Now, way back in the day, I was a wrestler in high school and I got really badly injured with my back. So I've suffered with back pain for years. So even after the injury, we're young, we're vibrant, we're regenerative. I started getting into heavy weightlifting and trying to transition into the powerlifting space, again, re-injuring myself from lack of education. So not only that, I transitioned into having a spinal disease, which is another fucking movie. No woe is me moment, I'm just giving you context. So the big chains, what it does is it provides a big tension in my cervical spine, especially the nerves on the cervical spine, which really provide a wild pressure and starts to give you a pain right in the back of the head, giving you some sort of a tension headache. So for me, these joints just don't work out on a daily basis. They're more so for content or entertainment purposes to wear at an event for a short period of time or a one-day singular use. So for me, not only are they not practical, but it's not smart for me to wear. And nowadays, the older that I get, it just provides a negative look or just the attention that I'm not looking for when it comes to these big chunky chains. And although I love to see them on other people because it just looks fly, some people could just put them together, some people look a little hickish, I do prefer a smaller combination or pairing of two chains over the big bulky piece. For example, there's a combination that I find myself wearing often on some going out or nice date night vibes that feels classy, which is my two ice link chains, one in yellow gold and one in rose gold. Now I got these two ice chains, they're about 1 millimeter apart. I believe one is 4.5 and the other one is 3.5. They're both 22 inches. And what I find is that this link, although it's a fragile link because it's hollow and it's lightweight, you can't put any pendant on it, but I would never recommend putting a pendant on this chain really because it's just a budget version of a tennis chain with no stones on it that gives you that shine factor that you're looking for, but it also provides a level of class and comfort. These weigh nothing on your neck. Yes, they can get snatched off your neck super easily. If you do one false move or tug, you can break the chain. Repairing this chain would be near impossible unless it's a lobster clasp. That's super easy, but you can break these at the drop of a hat. But it's a very sexy, super clean, classy setup that has a lot of versatility as opposed to the big chain. Now, when it comes to the 7-8 millimeter Miami Cuban link, I don't consider this a big chain. This is why I tell people that this is my favorite daily wear chain, because tucked in or out, it still provides a little bit of presence. It's not abundantly heavy on the neck, but it's still substantial. On camera, it looks a lot bigger than it is in person. You can put a pendant on it if you want to get a little wild, but you can take it back off to tame it back down. But even so, I can have just as much fun with something like a 2 millimeter rope, diamond cut, as well as a Hermes link that's also 2 millimeters. These are slightly under 2 millimeters, but in the jeweler's eyes, there are gonna be 2 millimeters. So if it's like 1.98, it's a 2 millimeter. So in this small chain combination, still provides a nice little neck profile. It still gives you that nice diamond cut shine. It still commands a presence. It's still a good look, and you can put a pendant on the longer one. As I generally recommend, if you're gonna put just a singular pendant, always put it on the longer one as opposed to the shorter one. And you can tuck it in, and you still have a nice little neck profile with a double chain look that isn't too big, isn't too crazy, doesn't command too much attention, and very versatile on dressy situations, dress down situations, and extremely comfortable. Now, if you have the budget to go insane and start pairing ice links with a rope and a heavy link or Hermes link, whatever they want to call it, then you can do combinations like this, which is like a 4-piece system. It has more presence, doesn't look too horrible, but this also takes a little bit of planning, right? To make sure that all the sizings align, the chain looks don't contradict each other, and you still got a really dope neck profile to avoid that super duper tacky look. This one for me is a little bit too much and might be looked at as tacky, but it doesn't look horrible either. So to each their own, and depending on your own personal style. So let me know what your personal style is. Are you looking at transitioning from a big chain to a smaller, higher purity chain? Have you always been the multi-small chain person? Or do you feel that a big boy piece is all you need? You're stashing your money in gold, it has the neck presence that you want, it has all the versatility that you're personally looking for, and that all you need is one piece as opposed to having multi-smaller pieces that maybe in some circumstances almost equate to the same value depending on the type of chain, carat, purity. Let me know in the comments below. And what transition? Should I start transitioning all big chains to smaller, higher purities, or should I keep the wide variety that I have? I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know who it is, biggest in the game. Smooches.
What's fresh? Who's best? Wanna know who's gonna pass the test?
For the fly gun holder, money folder, Motorola start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense, you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.